Good morning, students. Today we are going to start chapter 4, Globalization of Economics. Now, what is globalization? The very common definition that comes to our mind is the interconnection of the world. When the world is more closely connected, when all the countries are connected to each other, then we can say that it is a globalization. Now, trying to understand it, let's see the pictures which are given at the top of the chapter. So, you see how there is a hut in the very beginning, and there is a mother and daughter sitting, eating, and then in the next picture, a boy is carrying loads on his head, and it seems to be a cotton farm. And then there are a lot of ships which are being shown which depict that the raw materials are being transferred to the other countries, or the finished goods are transferred from one country to other. So transportation is being depicted through this picture, which is a very essential component of globalization. And now further you see a customer and lot of choices this process of globalization gives. Correct? So lot of options to choose, which is also very true nowadays. Then in the last picture you see there is a big house, as you see in the picture. It may be a shopping complex, or maybe something which is related to market. So these different pictures, they really show us the different, give us an idea of the globalization of Indian economy. Okay, so this is what the farmer are doing, providing raw materials, and it's leading to the manufacture of so many variety of goods in the market, and customer choices has widened. Now, looking at the picture at the bottom, two pictures are there, three pictures are there. They are all related to the shopping, market, customers, a general view of any market. If you see, it's like this. So what they are actually trying to tell us, they are trying to tell us that how the consumer now has so many goods to choose from, so many services, so many latest mobile phones, or so many latest laptops, LEDs. They can have it because they have a lot of choice there. You yourself are aware of this thing. If we talk about mobile phones, every now and then a mobile phone is launching from different brands. It's nearly after even 2-3 months a new mobile will come with some updated features, some new specific specializations. So in this way there has been an extension of consumer choices. They have more choices now, and they can choose from these choices. And this is what is shown in these pictures, that consumer has so many choices. These are the days in which so many you have choices of so many cars. You can buy a branded phone, a branded car from any other part of the world. From any other part of the world there is a producer producing it, but now it is in your approach. So our marketplaces, they have changed. Now we have even the products which are from outside our country. Manufacturers from across the world are supplying us with different goods and services. Moving on to your Next page, production across the countries. Now, you have heard the name of MNCs or multinational companies or multinational corporations. Yes, these are the production units actually, which are carrying on their production process across countries. What does it mean? It means that they have their offices or factories in one area, in one country, where the labor is cheap, where other resources are easily available. They are controlling from some other country, and they are selling their products to some other country where there is a large customer base. So this is done so that the MNCs can earn lot of profits by reducing their cost, and in this way we can say that they are carrying on production across different countries. Correct? Maybe assembling of a particular vehicle is done in one country, and then its hardware thing is done in another country, software is being installed in some other country, maybe different countries different thing is being done. That are the different processes of production. Now, what else? Spreading of production by MNC. Okay, so look at this example. If you see here at the bottom, there is a large MNC and it is producing industrial equipments. It is designing the products in research center in US. Then it is components are being manufactured in China. Then they are shipped to Mexico and Eastern Europe, where the products are assembled and finished. Products are sold all over the world. So you see, different production processes are being done at the different places to reduce the cost. And there you see in the photograph a call center in Bangalore, which is providing the customer service. Next, in this example of MNC is not only selling its finished products globally, but they are also producing the products globally. So production is increasingly is organized in complex ways, divided into small parts, and it is spread across the globe. So China provides the advantage of cheap labor. So the company is manufacturing the components in China. Then Mexico and Eastern Europe, because these are the places which are very near to the markets in US and Europe. So assembly is done in these areas. India has highly skilled engineers and they are ready to work at a very low wages as compared to the other parts of the world. So these provide the customer service. So overall, by doing this, MNC is reducing the cost to 50-60%. Here the exercise is given. Let's work out a brand tag says made in Thailand, but they are not Thai products. We design the manufacturing process. Look, the best solution at each step. We are doing it globally. We making garments. Company may, for example, get cotton fiber from Korea. So they are actually telling us they are doing their process globally. They are getting fiber from one place, they may be getting some other related things from the other place. Correct? So what they will be doing, they will be using buttons from some other country. They may be getting the designing the garments in some other place. Okay, manufacturing will be done maybe in China because of the cheap labor, and then they may be stitching the garments at some other place. So in this overall, they are doing the production across the globe. This is what they are trying to depict here. Next topic is interlinking the production across the countries. So MNC, what it is doing actually, it is carrying on the production process and it is doing it globally. It will be setting up the production where it can get the things done at a lower cost, and there is availability of all the required raw materials. It will also look for the government policies, that what are the policies with the government in those countries. So after assuring all these things, the MNCs set up their factories and offices in a country, and they spend the money, they buy the assets, and they do the investment in those countries where they find that the low cost is there, the labor is available, the government is supportive. So they will invest the money, they will buy the land and other things, machineries in those countries. This is known as investment. But when the investment is done by the MNC, it is known as the foreign investment. So this is one way the MNCs are carrying on the production in some other countries by doing this foreign investment. Sometimes they also jointly do the production with some local company. Okay, so what does it do? It provide money and investment for those companies, and so that they can carry on the production together. And then sometimes they also bring the technology, they bring money and technology which jointly used by the local producer together. But sometimes they even buy the local company. This is the third option. Okay, how do they do that? They have so much money, they can buy any company and they can expand the production. This is very easy. They can buy an established brand in a country and then they can use it to expand their business. Very famous example, Cargill Foods was an American MNC. It actually bought a smaller Indian company, Parak Foods. Parak Food, it was very goodwill. It has a goodwill with the customers. Brand name was there, very reputed. So Cargill was now easily able to expand in India by using name of Parak Food. So this is very easy for them. They have lot of money, as I already told you. Even they have money more than the governments of the countries. So they are so powerful, so rich. So next is developed countries. In developed country MNCs, how do? They sometimes give order. Okay, also in developing countries they give orders of garments, footwears or sports item, and they give orders to the small producers. Correct. So in India, if there are some producers, they get orders from the MNC. So they manufacture the product, supply the product to the MNC, and the MNC then put their brand names on them. So there is a lot of difference in the cost, what it actually costs to the producer, small producer in a country. Like if you say a big company like Adidas, Nike, they are giving orders to the manufacturers in India, small producer in India, the Nike shoes may cost you rupees 300, but when they get it for this money, they put their brand name and they increase their price to 5,000, 10,000, and as much as they can. So they have a power to influence the price to a very greater extent. In this way, MNCs are coming to the countries and carrying out their production, interlinking the production across the countries. I told you, I will briefly summarize my points. I told you they invest in a country. I told you that they may do a joint production with a country. They may buy a company, local company, or they can, in the last point, or they can give orders to the small producers. 4 ways I have told you how MNC do this. So this is all. We will discuss the next topic in the next class. Thank you.